It was a crisp October night when the small town of Pinebrook woke up to an explosion. Fire raged through an abandoned textile mill on the outskirts, sending plumes of smoke billowing into the cold autumn sky. When firefighters finally tamed the inferno, they made a chilling discovery. 3 bodies, charred beyond recognition, lay in the ruins. What seemed like an accident quickly turned into a homicide investigation, uncovering a web of corruption, betrayal, and organized crime. Daniel Reyes wasn't born into crime. He built his empire from the ground up. A second-generation Mexican-American from El Paso, Texas, Daniel grew up watching his parents struggle. His father labored in a factory, his mother cleaned houses, and money was always tight. Daniel, however, wanted more. By his late teens, he was running small-time drug deals, supplying high schoolers with marijuana. His charisma and street smarts helped him move up quickly. By 25, he had expanded into cocaine distribution and formed a tight-knit crew. His network spread across Arizona and New Mexico, earning him a reputation for being ruthless but strategic. Those who crossed him disappeared. Some found floating in the Rio Grande, others never found at all. Daniel was more than a violent dealer. He was a businessman. He laundered money through auto shops, nightclubs, and even a legitimate-looking charity for underprivileged kids. With local law enforcement and city officials on his payroll, he believed he was untouchable. The 3 victims found in the textile mill fire weren't just random casualties. Investigators identified one as Miguel Mickey Navarro, a mid-level dealer in Daniel's organization. The other 2 bodies, initially unrecognizable, carried secrets that would shake the foundation of Daniel's empire. Rumors swirled that Mickey had been skimming profits. Daniel's organization didn't tolerate theft. The fire was meant to send a message, but the real shock came when forensic tests identified one of the victims as Special Agent Ryan Carter, an undercover DA agent who had infiltrated Daniel's network for over a year. His death turned what was once a local investigation into a full-scale federal case. The DEA, FBI, and local law enforcement formed a joint task force determined to dismantle Daniel's operation. At first, Daniel appeared invincible. No evidence directly linked him to the crime, and his loyal associates refused to talk. Investigators struggled to find witnesses willing to cooperate, and every lead seemed to hit a dead end. A breakthrough came when a surveillance camera at a gas station near the mill captured a black SUV speeding away on the night of the fire. Detectives traced the vehicle to Luis Loco Ramirez, a low-level enforcer for Daniel. Luis, known for his violent tendencies, was arrested on an unrelated charge and interrogated relentlessly. Under pressure, he cracked. He revealed that Mickey had been passing information to Agent Carter, and Daniel had discovered the betrayal. The mill fire was no accident. It was an execution. With Luis's confession, authorities obtained a wiretap on Daniel's closest associates. They intercepted damning conversations, including one where Daniel himself mentioned cleaning up messes and keeping the feds out. Armed with this evidence, the task force made their move. On a cold December morning, a SWAT team raided Daniel's Scottsdale, Arizona mansion. Despite his luxurious surroundings, Daniel remained composed. He was found sipping espresso, as if he knew this day would come. But as federal agents slapped the cuffs on him, his empire crumbled. Daniel Reyes was charged with multiple felonies, including drug trafficking, racketeering, and conspiracy to commit murder. The prosecution had an airtight case, bolstered by testimony from Luis and other former associates who turned state's witness to save themselves. In court, Daniel maintained his innocence, claiming he was being framed. His defense team tried to poke holes in the evidence, arguing that the wiretap conversations were circumstantial. But the jury wasn't convinced. After weeks of deliberation, the verdict came: guilty on all counts. The judge sentenced him to life without parole. Daniel's empire collapsed overnight. His assets were seized, his businesses shut down. Many of his former allies went into hiding or fled the country. Pinebrook, once controlled by his influence, slowly began to heal, but the scars remained. The textile mill was never rebuilt. To this day, people in Pine Brook still whisper about that October night, the fire that exposed the drug kingpin and the empire that burned alongside it. And Daniel? He now resides in a maximum security prison, no longer the untouchable kingpin he once was, just another criminal who thought he could outrun justice, but ultimately met his downfall.